Hey everybody, welcome back to my modern homestead. If you don't already know, my name is Janet, and today, y'all, I'm so excited. As if we haven't been getting ready for the holidays, we're really getting ready for the holidays. I'm going to make a party mix, but not just any old party mix. We're going to make the ultimate party mix. And I say that because we're just putting two mixes together. Really just a mix and something else. Anyway, you'll see. But to do this, you've got to do two recipes. Don't sweat it. Don't turn away. Stay with me. This is easy. The first thing we're going to make is the ranch oyster crackers. These are so incredibly easy, and they don't take a long time. Maybe 5 minutes to mix them up, 15 minutes in the oven, done. So let's do it. It's really easy. Let's look at it. Okay, the first thing we want to do is take 1/2 cup of oil, pour it in. With these seasonings, you can do more or less of any of them, so make it to your taste. But the base recipe is 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we need a teaspoon of dried parsley. I'm actually putting several recipes together, so like I said, it's no right, no wrong. A teaspoon of the parsley. I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon measure in case you're wondering. Then we need a 1/4 teaspoon of the dill, and this is dried dill weed. And I don't want that strong dill flavor, so I'm just going to stick to the 1/4 teaspoon. Then let's do 1/8 teaspoon of smoked paprika. No exact measurements here again. And that's smoked paprika, but hey, if you don't have smoked, if you can find regular paprika or just a hot paprika, go ahead and use it. It'll be just fine. Let's do 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. And with the oil, if you don't want to use vegetable oil, that's okay. Use 1/2 cup of melted butter. Now, that's everything except for the salt and one other thing, but let me grab the salt. Okay, we have the salt, and this is just sea salt. And I don't want to do this real salty because it's going to go into, it's just going to be an ingredient in our ultimate party mix. But the last thing is this 1 ounce package of ranch seasoning. That's the magic, y'all. So definitely don't leave that out. And if you have your own homemade ranch seasoning mix that you would like to use, hey, go for it. I usually make my own, but here at the holidays when I'm doing stuff like this, I just go ahead and buy it. And besides, I'm out right now of my homemade. And y'all, ignore my fingernails. I've been going 90 to nothing. I ain't had time to fix them. So just mix this together really well. Now we're almost done already. Can you believe it? I told you. It's the holidays. We're having fun. We're not stressing in the kitchen. That's for the birds. And if you don't like being in the kitchen, y'all just head on down to that store and just buy you some party mix. You don't enjoy doing this? Don't make yourself miserable at Christmas. Or any time for that matter. Now, for this, ooh, that's noisy. You just want a 9 ounce package of oyster crackers. And while you're doing this, make sure you're heating your oven to 250 degrees. Stir them well. Make sure they're all coated nicely. Give them all some attention. They all need the love. Ooh, don't they look good already? Now remember, I said gentle. Don't beat them up. Stir them gently. These are wanting to break in half. There we go. Y'all know I can't resist. Of course I'm going to taste it. Woo-hoo! Yum! Please don't tell me I had y'all pause that whole time. Did I tell y'all? 250 degrees for 5 minutes and then we're going to stir. Okay, it's almost time to stir for the first time, but I'm going to go ahead and start this next part. We're going to pour in 1 box, and this is a 12-ounce box, 1 box of rice Chex cereal, 1 12-ounce box of corn Chex. This is the party mix part, y'all. And it's going to get cooked separately from the oyster crackers. Oyster shells. I don't even like oysters. Alright, there's that. And then, oops, we're going to stir. Hold on. Alright. Here are our crackers. Let's just give them a stir. They're already looking pretty and golden. We're going to pop these back in the oven for another 5 minutes. And we'll keep working on this party mix. Y'all, I'm just not even kidding you. Those crackers are delicious. I hope they make it to this mix. Alright, as I was saying, we're going to do, I don't know. We may do the whole box of this. If not, we're just going to eyeball it. This is the wheat Chex cereal. This is actually my favorite part of a party mix. I did all but just that little bit. Okay, and then you're supposed to use the mini pretzel sticks, but I could not find them. You can use a whole 16-ounce bag and be done, or you can use a half a bag like I'm going to do. Hey, y'all stop jumping out of there. And by the way, I am doubling this recipe, but I'll put a single recipe down in the description box below the video. That way, you don't have to make as much as I'm doing if you don't want to. Now what I'm going to do is take, these are 7 ounces. I'm going to take about half the bag, maybe more. Yep, we're doing more. Here we go. I'll just do the whole bag. Fiddlesticks. That'll be alright, right? And then we're going to take about 3 cups of Cheerios and add those in. That's the beauty of the party mix, y'all. If there's something you don't want, don't add it. If there's something you would like to add in, feel free. There's 2 cups. The last time I made this, I actually put in 2 cups of nuts, but I'm leaving this out. Leaving that out this time. All right, so that was about 2.5 cups, and voila, that part's done. Now back behind me, I have 3 cups of butter melting on the stove. I think I'm going to just use my hands. Make sure you have clean hands. I washed mine right before I got started. Ooh, there's the oven. Time for our second stir. if you would like to, look up, let me put that down, look up in this corner, I think it's that corner, and I will link a video I did 2 years ago, y'all. Don't laugh at it, but it will give you the story behind the party mix, and that mix is a little different than this one. Hey, ow, that's hot. It'll give you another option. And show you that there's no right or wrong. It's just your way, however you like it. All right, second stir, back in the oven for the final 5 minutes, and this is totally done. Y'all, I just can you talk? I told y'all this was so simple, so easy, and so quick. There we go, y'all. These are completely done. 15 minutes, probably 20 minutes total. So, how easy. Let's move these back here behind us, and then let's get started on the rest. All right. Here we go. We've got our butter all melted. Let's add in 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Yep, that looks like a lot, but you got a lot of the mix to cover. Then we're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of seasoning salt, just whatever seasoning salt you like. I'm actually using the Magic, but there are other seasoning salts out there that are good, just whatever you like. So there's 1, and about 1/2. Okay, now we need 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And just like with the crackers, you get a little more, a little less, whatever floats your boat. I'm going to use just a hair more. There we go. Then a 1/4 teaspoon of, this says hot paprika, but again, I don't have the hot, so we're just using the smoked. And a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne powder. You can use less if you don't want it too spicy. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. That's about 1/8 teaspoon. Okay, and sea salt. Let's do 1/2 teaspoon. Oh, that said sea salt, silly me. Celery salt. And again, this recipe will be down below. 1/2 teaspoon. It says garlic salt. Do I want to use it or not? That was an awful lot of garlic. Hold on. I think I'm just going to hold off on the garlic salt. But I do want to use 3 teaspoons of soy sauce. And this soy sauce is cold. If it does weird things to your butter, just stick it back on the stove. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're also going to use 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire, or 6 teaspoons. Already messed up this 1 spoon. We'll just keep going with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's it, y'all. Just give it a good mix. A good mix. Party in a pan about to happen. Let's get our mix. I hope y'all didn't turn your oven off. It still needs to be at 250 degrees for this recipe. We're just going to drizzle this over. Do it as evenly as you can. just like the ranch oyster crackers, you're going to mix it up. And voila. Let's give it a good mix, and then we'll stick it in the oven too. And this one you're actually going to do for an hour, stirring every 15 minutes. Hope I can get this done before it gets dark. I've got hogs to feed. I'm here all by myself today. All right, I'm going to try to mix with this spatula. I think I can do it. Just keep going and give it a good mix. All right, we have a big pan, and we're going to pour part of this into the pan. Make sure it's lined. Okay, we're going to have to do this in batches, and that's okay. One thing I do want to do is taste it. Now, I know my family, so I'm going to add a little more salt. I'm going to sprinkle on some onion powder. And a little more garlic. This is the salt, not the powder. All right. Ooh. Pop it in the oven 15 minutes. Okay, first stir. This has been going for 15 minutes. Oh, and that pan is hot. Okay, back into the oven for another 15 minutes. All right, let's get it stirred up for the second time. Ooh, it smells so good. And it's nice and, I can't say cold. It wouldn't be cold to some of you, but for here it's cold. So the warmth of it coming off of this is just yum. I made it outside. I got all the feed together and fed those hogs and got way down there in 5 minutes. Never dreamed you could feed those hogs that quick. That was including getting stuff out of the pantry to give them. Okay, back in for another 15 minutes. Y'all want to try it? Yum. Here we go with the last stir, y'all. We're so close. Going to stir it and then pop it back in the oven for another 15 minutes. And it's done. Now because I did such a big batch, whoops, sorry about that. Because I did such a big batch, I have 2 more smaller pans that I still have to get done, but we're done enough that I can show you the end product. 15 more minutes. Ooh, look at here, y'all. We are done. Dun, 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 dun. We're done with this batch. Sorry, I'm trying to get y'all where you can see it. We're going to let this sit here and cool for just a minute, and then we're going to transfer it to a bowl and add our oyster crackers to it, and this batch will be ready. There we go, y'all. Our party mix is done. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh my goodness. So excited, y'all. Christmas is so close. Thank you all so much for joining me and being here. You know I love it when you come and spend a few minutes with me. But before I leave, I want to leave you with a little thought I just had. When I was coming in from the pigs, I was like, Lord, why is it that even though there's so much sadness around me, even though I lost Mama, even though I have friends who have lost both parents, even though I have friends who could be losing close relations, why can I still be happy when everybody around me, well, not everybody, but so many can't find happiness in the sadness? And the thought hit me just like a punch in the gut just coming in the door. I almost had to sit down. It was literally that strong. In the deepest part of me, it was because I heard, it was like I almost felt the voice, because I didn't worship Mama. I didn't worship the people. For me, Christmas is about Christ. That's why I have not been able to allow myself to not enjoy Christmas. If I allow myself, or if I deny myself happiness at Christmas just because my mama is gone, then Christmas was never about
Christ.
That would have meant I was worshiping my mother. Never let that be said of me. Christmas for me is about Christ. It's my worship and my joy in Him. And that was the secret, y'all. That was why, don't get me wrong, of course there are days of sadness. Of course I miss Mama. But that didn't, and that doesn't steal my joy for Christmas. And I pray for you that nothing of this world steals your joy at Christmas, because it's not about things. It's about God and the Christ child. Thank you all so much for being here. I love it. I love you. I care about you, and you being here means the world to me. So until we meet again, may you be blessed. Love you guys.